The Lost in Eco. It all began with an old water damage journal. Emma Carter, a young but skilled marine archaeologist, sat in her cluttered office, studying its fragile pages. The journal had been recovered from a sunken ship off the coast of South America. Its leather cover was cracked, and the ink had faded in places, but the words still held a mysterious story. The pages spoke of a lost island, one that had never been recorded on any map. It was said to be the home of an ancient civilization, rich in gold and in knowledge, but destroyed by a tragic love story. Emma's heart pounded as she read the last entry. The writer, a sailor from centuries ago, claimed that he had seen the island with his own eyes. He had described golden temples, lush green jungles, and the legend of two lovers who defies their people, bringing doom upon their city. The final words of the general sent a chill down her spine. The island calls to those who seek love and truth, but beware, the past doesn't rest easily. Emma knew she had to find this island. If the journal was true, it could be the greatest archaeological discovery of the century. But more than that, she felt an unexplainable connection to the story. However, there was a problem. The island's location was unknown, and the ocean in that area was dangerous. To succeed, she needed someone who knew how to survive at sea and in wild places, someone like Lucas Reyes. Lucas was a treasure hunter, a man who lived for adventure and danger. He had a reputation for being reckless, but he was also known as the best navigator in the region. He had been to places that no one else dared to explore. Emma had met him once before, during a dig in Mexico, and they had not gotten along. She found him arrogant, and he thought she was too careful. But now she had no choice. He was the only one who could help her. She found him at a small port town, sitting in the crowded bar with a drink in his hand and a smirk on his face. He listened as she explained the journal and the island, his dark eyes full of curiosity. "So, you want me to take you to a place that no one has ever found?" he asked, leaning back in his chair. "Yes," Emma said firmly, "and I will pay you for that." Lucas laughed. "It's not just about money, Doc. This kind of journey, if we go, we might not come back." Emma swallowed hard. She had considered the risk, but hearing them out loud made them real. Still, she couldn't turn back now. "Are you in or not?" she challenged. Lucas studied her for a moment, then grinned. "All right, Doc, let's go find your lost island." And so the adventure began. The journey to the island had been more dangerous than expected. A sudden storm had hit their small boat, tossing it around like a toy in the raging sea. The wind howled, and the massive waves crashed against the sides, soaking them to the bone. Emma clung to the ropes as Lucas fought to control the boat, his strong hands gripping the wheel. But nature was stronger. A final, powerful wave lifted them into the air before slamming them down. Then darkness. Emma woke up on a sandy shore, coughing up seawater. The sky was bright and the storm was gone, as if it had never existed. She sat up slowly, her head throbbing. The beach stretched in both directions, untouched and wild. Towering palm trees swayed gently in the breeze, their green leaves whispering secrets. "Lucas," she called, her voice hoarse. A groan came from nearby. She turned to see Lucas lying a few feet away, covered in sand but alive. He sat up, rubbing his head, and gave her a weak smile. "Well, that was fun," he muttered. Emma rolled her eyes and stood up, brushing the sand off her clothes. Their boat was wrecked, broken pieces of wood scattered along the shore. They were stra- they were stranded, but as she looked beyond the beach, her breath caught in her throat. A dense jungle stretched before them, and hidden within the trees, something glowed in the sunlight. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but as they walked closer, she realized what it was: gold. Ancient structures covered in vines and moss peeked out from the dense vegetation, the ruins of a lost city. We found it, Emma whispered, unable to believe her eyes. Lucas let out a low whistle. I'll be damned. Excitement surged through Emma as she stepped forward. The ruins were massive, with tall stone pillars carved with symbols she had never seen before. Golden statues of unknown gods stood silently, their faces worn by time. Strange patterns covered the walls, telling stories of a forgotten civilization. But something felt off. The jungle was too quiet. No birds, no insect, only the sound of the wind. A chill ran down her spine. I don't like this, Lucas said, looking around. His usual confident expression had been replaced with caution. It's too still. Emma hesitated but shook off the feeling. Let's look around. We came all this way. As they moved deeper into the ruins, the air seemed heavier. The sun barely touched the ground through the thick canopy of trees. They found ancient staircases leading to crumbling temples, deep wells filled with crystal clear water, and statues of a man and woman standing together, their hands almost touching. Emma ran her fingers over the carvings. This must be them, the lovers from the legend. Lucas frowned. Then, where is everyone else? A sudden rustling in the bushes made them both freeze. Lucas grabbed his knife, and Emma held her breath. Something or someone was watching them. The ruins whispered secrets of the past, but not all of them were welcoming. As Emma and Lucas explored deeper into the ancient city, the feeling of being watched grew stronger. Shadow flickered between the trees and distant whisper echoes through the empty streets. The air was thick, charged with something unseen. Then they found it, the temple at the heart of the city. Unlike the others, this one was untouched by time. Its golden door stood tall, covered in carving of the two legendary lovers. Emma traces the symbol with her fingers, her heart pounding. This must be where it happens, she murmured. Lucas pushed open the heavy doors, revealing a vast chamber lit by beams of sunlight from cracks in the ceiling. In the center stood two stone figures, a man and a woman, locked in an embrace, their faces frozen in sorrow. At their feet lay a shattered crown and a broken sword. As Emma stepped closer, a sudden gust of wind howled through the chamber, carrying voices from the past. A vision flickered before their eyes, the doomed lover standing before an angry crowd, accused of betraying their people. The man was a warrior, the woman was a priestess, their love forbidden. When they refused to separate, the city fell into chaos. The people, believing the lovers had cursed them, destroyed their own kingdom. The lovers had been sealed away, their souls trapped in eternal sorrow. Emma staggered back, her breath shaky. The curse wasn't just a myth, it's real. Lucas' jaw tightens. Then that means. Before he could finish, the ground trembled. The whispers turned into desperate cries. The curse was still alive. The city has been waiting for them. A sudden realization struck Emma. It's a cycle. Every time someone comes here, the curse tries to repeat itself. If we don't stop it, we will be trapped like them. Lucas hesitated. How do we break it? Emma's mind races. The legend said the two lovers never had a choice. But we do. We have to finish what they started. Love didn't destroy this place, fear did. We need to prove that love can break the curse. Lucas looked at her, his usual smirk gone. Instead, there was something raw in his eyes. He reached for her hand, his grip firm and steady. Then let's end this. As their fingers intertwined, the air around them shifted. The voices softened, the statues of the lover began to glow, and the weight of centuries lifted. The spirits of the past, finally freed, faded into light. The temple doors swung open, revealing a path leading out of the ruins. Emma and Lucas had a choice to live with their discovery or stay and protect the island's secret. Lucas exhales, gazing at Emma. So, what now, Doc? Emma smiled, her decision already made. We stay. Together. They walked forward, leaving the past behind, ready to write their own story. The island was silent. The curse that had haunted it for centuries was gone, and the spirits of the past had faded into the wind. The golden ruins, once trapped in a time, now felt peaceful, as if they had been waiting for this moment. Emma and Lucas stood at the temple's entrance, looking out over the ancient city. The jungle stretches beyond the ruins, lush and wild, untouched by the outside world. The setting sun cast a golden glow over everything, making the island feel like a dream. Lucas let out a slow breath. So, we actually did it? Emma smiled, still holding his hand. Yeah, we did. For the first time since they arrived, the island no longer felt dangerous. It felt alive. The trees swayed gently in the breeze. The birds had returned, and the ruins no longer seemed haunted. The past had been set free, and so had they. Lucas turned to her, his expression softer than she had ever seen it. You know, we could still live, find a way back to civilization, tell the world about this place. Emma hesitated. She had spent her entire career searching for discoveries like this, proof of lost civilization, history written in stone. But now, standing here with Lucas, she realized something. Some things were meant to be remain untouched, protected. This island, its story, and the love that saved it, it was theirs now. She shook her head. If we leave, others will come. Treasure hunters, scientists, people who won't understand. This place doesn't need the world. It needs to be left in peace. Lucas smirks. So, you are saying we should just live here, alone, on a cursed island? Emma laughed. The curse is gone, remember? And we are not alone. Lucas' smirk faded into something more serious. He took a step closer, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You really want to stay? Emma looked into his eyes and knew the answer before she even spoke. I do. For the first time, she wasn't chasing history, she was writing her own. Lucas grinned. Well, I guess every great adventure has to end somewhere. But as he leaned in and kissed her, slow and deep, Emma knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The end.